There's another topic that I wanted to touch on, which is and I feel it's really, especially for like, I feel like my generation, it's like a big challenge, which is connection.
Mm.
Um, or and I was talking to my friend about it. Well, safe space and connection, because I feel that
Yeah.
I see this so much. Like, we're good at texting, but when it comes to social skills, when it comes to social interactions, when it comes to um even like relationships, there's a lot of blocks, a lot of lack of skill. And it's, I also see the big part of it is growing up where if something's broken, you go buy a new one, or
Right.
you don't have to, like, we literally have no patience, because if you want to go watch something, you go watch, like, you literally, you don't even have to leave your sofa. Whereas before, if you would go, you have to be like, oh, what's on today? Or like if you order something, you would wait for weeks instead of hours or maybe a day. So like even like with the patients
Yeah.
and like I feel like connection is something that I see missing so much. And it's so, I feel that, and I was listening to interview with one the bodybuilder who won the Mr. Olympia. And he was
Mm.
talking about how for him the relationship was so important that he was like, if I would start to see that it's starting to affect my relationship, I would step back from like what I'm doing, because it's that important for me.
Mm.
And he said it's really important to not to neglect your relationships as you're climbing the mountain, because then by the time
Oh,
you're at the
yeah.
top of the mountain, you're alone and you have nobody to
Yes.
share with. And even that experience of sharing, it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it enhances the whole experience. And
Mm-hmm.
even like if I think about my Ironman, my
I was gonna
friend,
say, yeah,
my brother
your
and his
family was
girlfriend,
there.
they made it so fun. Like,
Right.
I don't think I would enjoy, like, there was a lot of pain, don't get me wrong, a lot of pain, but I probably wouldn't get as much enjoyment out of it as I did with stuff that they were doing with their
Yeah.
like the signs that they were
Supporting
writing up.
you. They were there for you. It's so cool.
Yeah, and even it's just, and it's not even just the race day. It's before the race day, it's
Yeah.
after the race day, then
Yeah.
going back home and showing my medal to
Yeah.
everybody. Um and like my grandma, she was like, no, you have to call you like Iron Lady. And even like those small experiences, or even like in the first half marathon, like I had my brother and his girlfriend, they made me this
Oh, that's right. I
as,
remember. It's so
yeah,
cute.
because I said them that I'm afraid that I won't finish it on time, because if you don't finish in by the deadline, you don't get the medal. That's what I read in the rules. And I was afraid that I won't finish it, because the week before, 1 week before, I finished 24 minutes past the deadline. So I was like, you can't cut off like 24 minutes in a week. Um,
Yeah.
apparently you can. But but I was like, as I was, and I didn't even expect them to be there. And as I was like running in the finish line, they also like filmed me finishing, and then they had this medal that they gave to me. So I had two medals instead of one, and I finished second to last. So all of this to say that there's, it's really powerful to have connection, to have support, to have that
Yes.
like even like that safe space. So I, well, one thing would be your perspective on the importance of it, but also like how to, what helps to create it, what helps to build it when it comes to that connection or that safe space, or what are some of the like requirements for that?
Well, yeah, connection is really important. We're not supposed to be alone. We're supposed to live in tribes or communities, and that's how we're supposed to be. And so, connection is critical. And we can go on about the studies that have been done with babies and having connection with them and their development, and so there's, we need that, and how to build it. Because I was sitting here thinking, like, how do I build mine? Like, I don't have a huge group of people around me, a very small group of people. These people, though, are like-minded. That's one of the things. They're
Okay.
like-minded. They're not, none of them are perfect. I'm not
Yeah.
perfect. That's not what I'm looking for at all. But they're like-minded in
I
the
think if
same.
they appear perfect, then they probably are not opening up to you
Oh,
enough.
Yeah, if they're coming across as perfect, you need to kind of take a step back. You got to be careful. But they have the same values and goals and standards in life, and like that's how you connect. That's how you connect is through that. Like I'm trying to think of, I can't connect with an alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of obvious, right? So I don't have alcoholics in my part of my community.
Yeah.
So, and really, in order to be able to really connect with others, it goes back to being able to connect with yourself first. It always starts with you. I mean, you are your foundation, and everything else goes out from there. So, whatever is going on within you, if you're connecting with yourself, if you're taking care of yourself, if you've got self compassion and self care, that's going to go out. If you have a good relationship with yourself, that's going to go out. So, it really starts within you. And when you maybe start your healing journey, it's gonna feel, and you're probably even gonna hear from people you're being really selfish, because you need to focus on you. Because the thing is, you haven't been.
Yep.
You haven't been. You've been focused on everything else. You may have been in survival mode, but you haven't been taking care of yourself. And so that's really where it ultimately starts. And from there, it goes out and it gets much, much, much easier.
Yeah, I think, and I wrote down that like to connect with yourself, you need to know yourself and understand
Exactly.
yourself. And I
Exactly.
also would even add when it comes to even like finding the people that do align with you, it's really hard to find it if you don't know who you
Right.
are.
Exactly. Exactly. That's so true. And that was the crisis that I hit in 2016, when I had no idea who I was, what I liked. I had been spending my life being a chameleon and changing myself to everybody I would try to figure out what you expected of me, how you expected me to behave, and that's how I would try to behave. I'm sure a lot of times I was wrong. This is all going on in my head.